Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today, I have a director with us. We're releasing around by Christmas time the follow up to his first horror film, which is Red Christmas, and then the sequel is Red Christmas 2. I have with us Sean Winders. Sean, welcome to the Horror Room.
Thanks for having me, Travis.
It's a pleasure having you, man. Pleasure having you on. So, tell us a little bit about let's talk about tell us a little bit about Red Christmas first, and then we're going to go into the sequel.
All right, fire away.
So what's the story? So tell my audience the story behind Red Christmas.
So the story essentially is about this bratty little girl, and she's a little shit too. So she encounters this maniac who's dressed as Santa Claus. And you know how Santa Claus gives hold of naughty boys and girls? Well, this one murders naughty boys and girls with an axe.
Nice. And the sequel is going to follow up from the ending of the first one?
It is.
Now, I understand from what you were telling me earlier that part 2 is going to be a little controversial.
It is.
How so?
Well, I'm not going to lie. There might be a dick in one of the scenes.
A dick getting chopped off? No. Just a random dick.
How did you know?
Well, I've noticed something. So, and this might be like in the last couple of years, but there's been a lot of fucking dicks getting chopped off in horror movies. That seems to like to be the new go-to thing.
Huh. I didn't even know that was a trend nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. In big budget movies, you know, we started seeing it with like movies like Teeth, and then we saw it in Hostel too. But I've watched numerous indie horror movies like in the last couple of years, and it's like a go-to movie. And as a man, I fucking cringe anytime I see a fucking dick getting cut off. That's like I'm pretty sure that's every man's worst fucking nightmare.
Of course, like that's one of my biggest fears right there.
Yeah. I mean, how do you go on after that?
Yeah. I remember the scene from Piranha 3D where the piranha were just eating this guy's from the waist down, and he said, "Oh, my penis, my dick is gone," and it cut to the next part where the piranha were fighting over this guy's dick, and one of the piranha ate it and then like spat it back out. That shit really got to me when I first saw it.
Yes, that definitely got to me. I mean, even when I saw Hostel 2, and like the final girl when she chopped the guy's dick off and threw it to the dogs, I was like, oh. But yeah, I mean that's a thing now. We've seen a lot more dicks getting chopped off in horror movies. So, what can we expect when it comes to Red Christmas 2 gore level? Are we going to be expecting medium or a high amount?
We're expecting a high amount here. Probably not as much as like Terrifier 2 per se, but almost the same level as like Terrifier 1.
Terrifier 1, okay. Now, are we going to be seeing, I mean, there's some kids in this movie. Are we going to see some kids getting murdered?
So not getting murdered, just like the last one, but she's an even bigger shit in this one than the last one.
I'm loving right now that we're getting a lot more holiday horror movies, because we got them in the 80s, and then like it seemed like they died off a little bit in the 90s and even in the early 2000s. But now, I mean, just a recent release of Thanksgiving, I'm glad to see, because if you think about it, a lot of these iconic holiday characters are pretty fucking creepy.
You would be lying, my guy. Like, and plus, I'm not gonna lie. We celebrate Christmas way too early, and that shit's like way too fucking cliche. So yeah. I decided say fuck you to the holiday season. Just make a Christmas horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, Santa Claus is a creepy fucking character. I mean, he's a motherfucker who likes to. He watches everything you do, and he fucking creeps into your house. Like, if you think about it, it's a pretty fucking creepy character.
Yeah, and he's obsessed with children.
Yes, he's obsessed with children. So, so what got you into? I'm pretty sure you were a horror fan your whole entire life, like myself. Well, what got you to the point where you were like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to make a horror movie?
Well, when I first moved down here to Florida and I went to Halloween Horror Nights for the first time, I just really fell in love with the horror genre.
And like right now, I mean, especially as an indie filmmaker, with the affordability of technology as well as the platforms to get your work out there, it's a lot easier to make a horror film and get it out there for people to see.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge fan of practical effects. Like you can only get so far with CGI, but if you do it right, it'll look that much more realistic and more impressive.
Yeah, I'm an '80s horror guy. I love and I prefer practical effect, but I understand that unless you have someone who's good at doing practical effects, and it's a lot easier doing CGI. I get especially when I see like the big name movies. The biggest issue I had with Evil Dead Rises, right? I thought it was a great movie. But one of the biggest issues I had was the the constant CGI blood and gore, and it kind of turned me off a little bit because if you think about the original Evil Dead movies, it was all practical effect.
Yeah, when you use too much CGI, it's gonna look fake as fuck. Unfortunately, I had to use a little bit of CGI blood in Red Christmas Part 1 because we couldn't figure out how to get the blood to splatter a little bit more, so I had to use that.
Now, at any point when you're making your films, are you thinking? I mean, you say the part two is going to be very controversial, but at any point as a filmmaker in your creative side, do you think to yourself, "Boy, I can only go but so far," or do you ever think, "Oh my goodness, I hope this doesn't upset people"?
Not at all. Like, if someone tries to get me canceled, tries to get my films canceled, then here's my statements. Eat a dick, Karen.
Because we're in a weird time in this country right now where everybody is fucking offended, especially the lower millennials, especially the Gen Zers. They are fucking offended by absolutely fucking everything. And if they don't like anything that you fucking say, they don't like anything you make, they will do their best to fuck your life up.
Well, I find that the best advice is to like not give a fuck and yeah, basically give no fucks and just do your thing. I mean, I understand that some people do deserve to get canceled, but this shit's getting a little ridiculous.
It is. It is because I mean, everybody is finding a reason to be offended nowadays, and I grew up in the fucking '80s, and like, especially when it comes to horror. Horror was always supposed to be meant to be offensive. It was also meant to be kind of misogynistic and even borderline racist. But we respected it for what it was, and it was a fucking great time. It's a fucking movie. So like I've talked to some filmmakers, and they're like, "Oh, I'm making this movie, but I didn't want to go about so far because you don't want to get canceled. You don't want to piss off the PC culture." And I'm like, boy, but that must fuck with a artist. I mean, an artist's fucking creativity.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know why people get offended by this. Like, those racist and misogynists in the film end up dying anyways, so. And then brutally, too.
Exactly. All right, now, who are some horror filmmakers that you got inspiration from over the years?
Well, I've recently just gone to Eli Roth. I just recently saw Thanksgiving. Phenomenal film. Of course, I'm a fan of Hostel. I've recently gone to Damien Leone, director of the Terrifier series. I'm also a big fan of John Carpenter.
John Carpenter's classic. And I'm a Eli Roth fan, even though I wasn't a big fan of Thanksgiving. I mean, I love the fucking gore. I just thought that the story was a little too choppy for me. But I'm a huge fan of Eli Roth, and people are looking at me weird when I say I'm an Eli Roth fan. But if you watch his movies, I mean, listen, you go into an Eli Roth movie not expecting, not the best acting, not the best story development, but if you're going to an Eli Roth movie and you're just looking for some over the top gore, some nasty fucking things, and some creative kills, I mean that's what Eli Roth movies are.
That's what he excels at. Like his movies are a lot of fun to watch based on that. Like it really kind of satisfies the bloodlust that we kind of have a little bit, and people are too afraid to admit they have.
So all right, let's do something. Let's rank our top 5 Eli Roth movies, starting at number 5 and going up to number 1. You go first, and now I'll tell you my top 5.
I haven't seen a whole lot of Eli Roth movies, to tell you the truth, but my top 3 have got to be number 3, Cabin Fever. That shit really fucked me up because one of my biggest fears is getting flesh-eating bacteria.
Mm-hmm. Then
we got Hostel, number 1, for Thanksgiving.
My list is almost... So for number 5 for me, I'm going to put Hostel 2. Not as great as the original, but it's still, I mean, I'm pretty sure people have seen this movie. But the kill with the girl that's up on top of the ceiling and she takes a side and fucking cuts her with the blood. I mean, that was fucking beautiful. That was a beautiful fucking kill. So I put Hostel number 2, and number 5. Number 4. I'm going to put, because this list changes quite often, I'm going to put Death Warrant. So this was not a horror movie by Eli Roth, but it was an action one, and with Bruce Willis. It was a remake of the Charles Bronson ones from the 80s. So I like that because it was an action movie with the Eli Roth kills. Number 3, I'm going to put Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I wasn't a huge... I mean, I found all the characters in that movie annoying, but it had some gruesome, amazing kills. And John Carver is definitely... And I think he might be going up there as one of the iconic horror characters. Number 2 is going to be... What would I put as number 2? I don't know. I might put... I might put Cabin Fever at number 2. But number 1 for me is definitely Hostel. Hostel, when I first saw that fucking movie, it disturbed me because I was traveling the country a lot. And back then, yes, I was traveling for, I was definitely on the pussy hunt. You know what I mean? So, like, I was like, fuck, that could have been me at any fucking point during the time that I was traveling. That could have been me at any fucking point.
And the scary part is that can happen in real life.
It could, because at the end of the day, if people, or I've said this many times, but if women wanted to kill men, or if people just wanted to get a bunch of men to kill all us stuff, all they have to do is put a fucking bunch of hot chicks in front of them and say, hey, we want to fuck you. And a lot of men would just follow.
I'm not gonna lie, I would have probably fell for that too.
Yes, I would think, especially in your men in their 20s and 30s, would 100% fucking follow. 2 hot chicks. Hey, you want to have a threesome with us? Hell yeah! All right, let's come to this creepy ass fucking wrestling club. Okay, gone.
Yeah,
just like that.
All it takes is to wave some pussy in front of us, and we're actually pretty easy to manipulate.
Yes. Oh, No, I'm taking it back. Cabin Fever is not my number two. My number two is Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves. That
I,
was a fucking great movie.
okay, now I know what Eli Roth movies I need to check out.
Yes, because Knock Knock also is a movie that I was like, oh shit, that could have been me because it's the same scenario as Hostel. I was like, boy, that could have been me at some point in my life where you're home and two hot chicks fucking knock on your door, asking to come into your house, like wearing hardly nothing, and like at some point in my life, I would be like, oh yeah, come on in.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely Eli Roth, those two movies, I was like, oh shit, and like that's what's great about a horror movie. If it gets you to that point where you're like, oh shit, that could have been me, like camping in the woods or going to some creepy house for a party or something. It's not something that I would have ever done in my life, but following a hot chick somewhere and getting murdered, that could have possibly happened at some point in my fucking life. Not gonna lie, it could have definitely happened at some point in my life.
You wouldn't be wrong about that.
Yeah, I think most men, if they were fucking honest, at some point in their life, if not right now, they would have did the same thing in both those movies.
Yeah, exactly. And there are people that go to certain countries just to get some pussy.
Yeah, sex tourism. I mean, it happens all the time. I mean, think about how many American men go to fucking Thailand and Brazil and Dominican Republic for vacation and never come back and just disappear.
Exactly.
That shit happens all the time. Because and I'm assuming. Listen, I've never done that shit before, but I'm pretty sure that if I was going on one of those trips, I wouldn't bring anybody with me because I don't want no one to know what the fuck I'm doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I told my mom I was going to take a trip to Colombia one time, and she freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a dangerous fucking place out there. From someone who's traveled the world, it is fucking dangerous out there to be an American, and because you stand out like a sore thumb, and yeah, I mean, the world is. Listen, the world is a beautiful place, but you also have to be cautious on who you trust and even talk to in foreign countries.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my biggest advice for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. We white people are really good at getting kidnapped. That's our specialty right there.
Exactly. And it's because, listen, like, I don't care if you go to fucking Italy, France, anywhere. You just gotta watch who you talk to and who you fucking follow, because Americans are sitting ducks.
Yeah.
They think that we all have money. They think we're all rich, and they also think we're all assholes, which for the most part we are. But yeah, it's no. I mean, most countries do not think Americans are friendly. They think that we're loud assholes, which, once again, most part we are.
Yeah, they would be wrong about that. We're constantly ranked as one of the rudest countries in the world.
Yes, and here's the thing too about us as Americans. We are fucking. We think our shit don't stink. You know what I mean? We think that we're fucking perfect, and we are so fucking entitled. And most countries look at us like, what is wrong with them?
At least we're not as rude as the British.
That's true. All right. So as you know, Sean, this is a horror channel. So I'm gonna ask you 3 random horror questions. You ready?
I am.
All right. First question. I asked this one a couple of times recently, but I want to hear your response to this. What iconic horror movie series, for good or worse, do you wish they would stop making sequels?
Halloween.
Why is that? That's a good one, by the way.
Well, because they've already made like 8 movies, and when you make that many movies, they kind of lose their luster a little bit. It's like they lose their effect.
And I agree. I'm a Halloween fan, but I've said, especially after watching Halloween Ends, I'm like, I don't want to see another Halloween movie for a long fucking time, because that last trilogy really fucked me up. I mean, with 2018, it set the bar so fucking high. I was like, wow, this is so great. And then it just went like this, and it just exploded, and it just fucked me up. I was like, fuck, I don't want to see another Halloween movie for a long fucking time, because this last little trilogy right here really fucked up Halloween for me.
Oh yeah, I agree.
All right, second question. All right, F, marry, kill. So fuck, marry, kill. Are you ready?
I am.
Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween, Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell in the Scream series, and number 3 is going to be, let me see, let's go with Nancy from the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, so all right, let me think. I'm not gonna lie, I'm on the spectrum, so it takes me a second to think about shit sometimes.
You're fine, brother.
All right, so I would kill Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. I would fuck. Wait, what's that girl's name from Scream?
Of Sidney Prescott, yes. Sidney.
I would fuck Sidney Prescott, and I would marry Jamie Lee Curtis.
Really?
Yeah.
So I would swap Sidney for. Yeah, I would swap Sidney for Laurie. I think I would marry Sidney. I feel like she would be a better. I don't know. I feel like she's more relatable and she'd be a better wife or partner. I feel like Laurie Strode has way too much fucking PTSD. You know what I mean? I feel like she just walks around paranoid 24/7 that Michael Myers is going to come after her. And I feel like that would get kind of annoying.
Yeah. Like, exactly. I don't think I would ever want to date a paranoid chick.
Yeah. I mean, listen, she has real reasons to be paranoid, but I'm like, but do I want to live my life paranoid too? Like, nah, I'm good.
Exactly.
All right. Last question. Do you think that Terrifier 3 is going to be as good as the first or second one?
Well, I'm excited to find out. Though I'm not going to lie, that teaser trailer kind of got to me a little bit, because part of me doesn't want to go see a little girl get brutally murdered the way the clown likes to do his victims. But I think my curiosity is going to get the better of me, and I'm definitely going to go see this.
I'm definitely going to go see it too, but I just feel like we're going to be. I feel like I'm going to be let down, because I mean, I feel like this is going to, and the biggest reason I feel like this is going to be a cliffhanger ending. I think that we're going to know as little as we do know now about the story and Art the Clown as we do right now. I think Damien Leone, amazing filmmaker, I think he's going to milk this franchise out. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think he's going to milk it out to Terrifier 12. And then I don't think until about Terrifier 7 we're going to start finding out what Art the Clown is and the arc of the story. I feel like I'm going to leave Terrifier 3 not knowing anything more about Art the Clown or the fucking story.
Well, there's a lot of speculations online what he is. When I first saw Terrifier, I thought he was just like some messed up in the head guy dressed as a clown killing people. But I've seen hella videos on YouTube discussing who Art the Clown is, so he might be a demonic entity.
But should we know something by now about Art the Clown? I mean, like, we know very little about the Art the Clown, and we're going into our third film. And some people say this might be the last film, which I don't think so. I mean, listen, it's making money. People want to continue seeing Terrifier movies. But I just hope they don't. I just hope this doesn't turn into a Halloween thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, the mystery behind the Art the Clown is part of what makes him so terrifying.
Yeah. because I don't know what it is about horror movies right now. Once they find success, they just keep on boom, 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 making a movie, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse over time. And I hope that's not what's going to happen with that series. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, I enjoyed the second one, but I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. But I'm looking forward to Terrifier 3. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's a Christmas theme. I hope it did what, like, I wasn't a fan of Terrifier 1, but Terrifier 2 was way better than Terrifier 1. So it kind of got me some excitement for the Terrifier series. So I hope Terrifier 3 does for me what Terrifier 2 did, and it just it increased the excitement, the kills, the story, everything by leaps and bounds.
No, I'm really hoping the best for Terrifier 3, and like you said, I hope this doesn't keep on turn into a giant big cash cow. Yeah. And I think Damien Leone is a great filmmaker, but I think he should branch out into making other movies other than just like the Terrifier series.
I agree. But mark my words, I don't think Terrifier 3 is going to be the it. If I had to put money on it, we're going to at least see Terrifier 6. I think it's going to go way too long, and it's going to get worse over time. All right. Well, Sean, where can everyone find you, my friend?
Where can you find me?
Yes, sir.
So you can find me on Facebook and my Facebook page, Savage 8 Media, and I'll send you a link to my websites, and I think you already have my YouTube channel.
Yep, it's going to be right down in the description, so please click on it, everyone.
All right, cool.
All righty. Sean, it's been an absolute blast having you on, man. I'm looking forward to seeing Red Christmas 2 coming out around by Christmas time.
All right. It's been a pleasure, Bruce.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming on to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce.
All right.
See you guys next time.
See ya.
Take care.